Dear friends, we will begin with a minute or more of just resting our minds in wisdom. Okay, so we begin. So we will continue now talking about wisdom training. It will be talk, I believe, 11. We had over a week gap in these talks when I suggested you to practice and incorporate it as your experience in your daily life. And I optimistically assume that you did it. So we can assume that, not assume, but absolutely I'm sure that you can do it when you just sit peacefully, quietly, without disturbances. But wisdom training is not just like to sit for a minute or 10 or even 20, resting your mind and doing nothing else. Well, in our life we have to do many things. We can't just sit. Well, we can, but we need to, for example, get up and eat or drink or go to toilet, whatever that's necessary. And even more, we have to somehow, often we go to work, we talk with people, we talk with our family, we do the household activities, all sorts of things. And question is that we should start expanding our resting in the wisdom, our wisdom, while being active in activities. Of course, we will should start gently, otherwise all we will get is frustration. You know, it will be extremely difficult to have a heated discussion and at the same times rest in wisdom. Because rest in wisdom, it doesn't mean that we are completely quiet and peaceful. No, it can be done in every situation, but step by step. I suggest to start, the simplest thing is to combine it with the walking, with going for a walk. And again, the best is to do it in some more or less quiet atmosphere, like in the nature, in the woods or fields, or in the park, just to avoid too many distractions. And you just walk. And I want to make a very strong emphasis. It is not a kind of Zen walk, or some people who did Shambhala training walk in the circle in some little room or bigger room. No. You walk normally as you walk. And you are bombarded, of course, by perceptions. Bombarded. You see you are bombarded. You see sound, you feel your feet, you feel the wind. You will discover a lot of perception. The point is, and let's listen carefully, is not to focus particularly on any of them, nor to block them. They just come and go. Actually, you can enjoy them. It's joyful to notice how much do we feel. I'm talking about simple sensual perception is sensual, but I'm not talking about thinking, etc. At that point, thinking is not advised. You see things, but you don't have to immediately start thinking about them. You see them, you feel them, you hear them, and you walk. Of course, you feel your pressure or your foot when you walk, and the movement. Whatever happens, happens. You just allow to rest in what is happening. In the beginning, it could be difficult, and gradually it becomes easier. And I suggest not to be heroic, not go for a walk when there is a super cold wind or rain or thing. Be gentle, try to do it gently, not on the crowd at this point, crowded streets, as I already mentioned. You can walk on a street, of course, it doesn't have to be a park, but not. You can even see the showroom of, this storefronts. You don't particularly focus. You see them, you don't block them, but you don't focus. You don't block and you don't hold to it. Just middle way. And such walks, it's extremely a good step towards staying in the resting in our mind during activities. That we will have to go further and further. For today, I think that maybe there is a little bit of time, so I can tell. The next thing, I'm talking about my experience, not I didn't read it in any book, to tell you the truth. but I did it in my own. In our household, we divided our roles. I like to wash dishes. And in the beginning, I was basically, was a chore. Now it becomes quite easy and quite pleasant. I just do water running or looking at it if it is already ready to put. I have a dishwasher. We have a dishwasher, so I put it into dishwasher. When it's clean, because it is discovered when it's too dirty, the dishwasher just mixes it all and stuck pieces of food all over the place, and it's dirtier, looks dirtier than it was put in. So I rinse it, and I don't need to particularly think about it. A moment it's enough to see if the plate is ready to put into dishwasher, or there are things which I don't put in dishwasher. I put on the rack because they are delicate or too big pot. And it's, for me, it was and it is an excellent practice. So I suggest you to do those two things. Of course, you have to sit in peace your 15, 10 or 20 minutes. That is the base on which now we can build up. We can build up going for a walk. We can build up washing dishes, but you don't have to do only what I suggest. You are fairly creative. You could do other things. But I wouldn't suggest to do too much things intellectual which involve thinking, problem solving, etc. Let's leave it, or conversation, particularly heated conversation, though you can sit and listen without engagement, and that's difficult. It's easy if, for example, for me, if somebody speaks French, because my knowledge of French is so weak, then after a while I just hear sounds and I don't attempt to understand. It's more difficult when people speak the language which you do understand and not get involved. That you can try, but if it doesn't work, go back to washing the dishes or cleaning or making your bed or whatever you think. It's simple and doesn't involve you too much engagement, too much thinking. Okay? So I am doing it just, I stop talking about the nucleus, not forever, but I think that before we will talk about how actually to create a nucleus, we have to learn how to work in situations which are challenging. So we now will talk about we began our challenging period. Okay, so hope to talk to you soon, and goodbye.